Why do you have to make choices? Resources are scarce. Yes. Remember, resources are scarce, limited. That is why we have to make decisions on how to use them. So what will the price of the item be here? So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So $5, yes. So it'd be $5 when it hits equilibrium there. Supply and demand equals. So products will be sold at the equilibrium price. This is the most efficient use of resources, no surplus. Everyone who can pay for a product at the price gets one. So when government lets businesses and people make economic decisions but sets some rules, taxes, provides subsidies or some businesses, what type of economy is it? So mixed, yes. So when government controls all the resources and makes all the economic decisions, what's that called? Command, yes. There are different forms of economies. Market, the people in business make all decisions. The government never gets involved. Mix, the people in businesses make most decisions, but something the government will get involved in is by making rules, taxing, subsidizing, etc. Command, the government controls the entire economy, no freedom for people or businesses. So what tool do we use to determine the health of the economy? So business cycle, yes. What phase of the business cycle does A represent? Mhm. So peak, yes, peak. What phase of business cycle does B represent? Trough. What phase of business cycle does C represent? So contraction, yes. What phase of business cycle does D represent? Expansion, yes. The business cycle looks kind of like a roller coaster, measures the health of the economy. The top of the cycle, like the top of the mountain, is called the peak. What is going down is called contraction. The bottom is called the trough, like a trench. It is a low, bad place to be. When it is going up, it's called expansion. So when the economy is doing its best, the peak, what is happening with GDP? So highest, yes. There are four indicators we use to determine where the business cycle is at. GDP, how much money we were spending. CPI measures inflation, deflation. Unemployment rate, low is good and high is bad. Stock market. If there's a bear market, stock prices are what? Falling. Yes. Business cycle and indicators. Peak is highest GDP, lowest unemployment, inflation bull market. Contraction is shrinking GDP, increasing unemployment. Steady prices or slight deflation, bear market. Trough is lowest GDP, highest unemployment, deflation, bear market. Expansion is rising GDP, decreasing unemployment, steady prices or slight inflation, bull market. So the Federal Reserve or central bank of the US is in charge of what? Monetary policy. The Congress is in charge of what? Fiscal policy. Yes. If there's a contraction or trough, what will the Federal Reserve do to the discount/interest rate? Lower it. Yes. So they would lower it to to grow the economy. So if there's a contraction or trough, what will Congress do to the tax rate? Lower it. So they would lower the tax rate to grow the economy. So monetary policy controls the supply of money in circulation, discount/interest rate, reserve rate, buy and sell bonds. Fiscal policy does taxing and spending. How do subsidies help US businesses? The government pays producers so they can sell their product for cheaper in the US and other countries. If the US adds a tariff to Chinese products, what will China most likely do? Put a tariff on U.S. goods. Usually they do it, if you do it to them, they do it to you here. What does make globalization possible? Is it considered a social science? It studies human behavior about how individuals, societies, and nations allocate resources and satisfy the needs and wants. Yes. Study of market factors affecting people's decisions of spending money. Economics and social science studies how individuals, businesses, governments, and societies allocate scarce resources to satisfy unlimited wants and needs. Excellent work. Faye, Mashani, Apple, correct. Carmela, it is considered social science because it studies human behavior and the way they make choices. Yes. Economics and social science studies how individuals, businesses, governments, and societies allocate scarce resources to satisfy unlimited wants and needs. Apple, excellent. May economics focus on the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services? Yes. Economics is the study of how societies allocate scarce resources to fulfill unlimited wants and needs. Excellent now. Humstock is the study of human behaviors and allocation of resources. Excellent. Rommel, study of production, distribution, and consumption. Yes. And then Barrage, economics is the study of how individuals, businesses, and societies allocate scarce resources to satisfy unlimited wants. It's considered social science because it analyzes human behavior, interaction, decision making within the context of societal structures and institutions. Excellent. Scientific study of how scarce resources are owned, used, and exchanged. It analyzes human behavior, resource allocation, economic system. Excellent. June. To understand how individuals, businesses, governments make decisions of how to allocate resources in society through studying economics. Excellent. Uses scientific methods to build theories. Q. Yes. Barrage, study of allocating scarce resources to fulfill unlimited wants. Yes. Genelin, ownership, use, and exchange of scarce resources. Yes. Vivian, economics considers human behavior, particularly in decision-making behavior. Yes. Geozel, allocation of limited resources to meet unlimited wants. Excellent. And then behavior. Yeah, a big part of it's behavior. Yeah. So what are the two main branches of economics? Macro, micro, Rashani, yes. June, macro, micro, macro, yes. Q, micro, macro, yes. Excellent. Giselle, micro, macro, yes. Carmel, micro, macro, yes. Thumbsuck, micro, macro. Hummel, Rommel, macro, micro. May, micro and macro. Faye, micro, macro. Vivian, micro, macro. Brunel, micro, macro. Suja, micro, macro. Mirage, micro, macro. Shay, macro, micro. Apple, micro. Excellent. Mhm. Then what are the four phases of an economic cycle? Peak, contraction, expansion, trough. Yes. Faye. Peak, trough, expansion, contraction, Mashani. Yes. Suja, peak, contraction, expansion, trough. Excellent, Suja. Expansion, contraction, peak, trough. Yes. June. Humsuck, peak, contraction through expansion. Yes. Apple, expansion, peak, contraction, trough. Giselle, expansion, peak, contraction, trough. Excellent. Hugh, expansion, peak, trough, contraction. Yes. Rommel, contraction, peak, trough, expansion. Carmela, expansion, peak, contraction, trough. Yes. Viviolin, expansion, peak, contraction, trough. Excellent. Expansion, peak, contraction, trough. May. Yes. Expansion, peak, contraction, and trough. Shay. Excellent. Expansion, peak, contraction, trough. Raj. Excellent. Expansion, peak, trough, contraction, Burnell. Excellent. Great work. How does a recession differ from a depression? Recession, short-term economic decline, depression, severe, long-lasting economic downturn, Burnell. Excellent. Yes. June, mild economic decline lasting months to a few years is recession. Severe and prolonged economic downturn lasting several years or more is depression. June. Excellent. Shay, recession, temporary decline, while depression is prolonged severe downturn. Yes. Mirage, recession is significant downturn. Depression is prolonged and severe recession. Apple, recession is manageable. Depressions are rare and catastrophic. Yes. Mashani, recession is a minor economical downturn. Depression is more intense. Yes. Suja, recession is decrease in GDP. Depression is severe drop in GDP that lasts for a year. Ramo, recession is a downtrend in the economy, while depression is more severe economic downturn. Q, recession is a decrease in gross domestic product that lasts for at least 2 quarters, while depression is a severe drop in GDP that lasts for a year or more. Carmela, recession is downtrend in GDP that could affect production and employment and produce lower household income spending. Depression is more severe, like widespread unemployment. Yes. Homestuck, a depression is much more severe and long-lasting than a recession. The impacts of a depression are deeper, requiring more substantial interventions to restore economic stability and growth. Yeah, recession is short downturn, while depression is more extended. Geozel. Faye, recession is sort of down duration and unemployment tends to rise. And depression is more prolonged and there's a persistent increase in unemployment rates. Yes, all great points there. And then May, recession, high unemployment, falling home prices and sales, stock market declines, decreasing wages. Depression refers to a sharp decline. Yeah. And then Genelin provided another response here. So good job, everyone, on that. So, what are the four types of market structures? Perfect competition, monopoly, oligopoly, and monopolistic competition. Yes, Shay, excellent. And Apple. Perfect competition, monopoly, oligopoly, of monopolistic competition. Yes. Geozel, yeah, same thing here. Perfect competition, monopoly, oligopoly, monopolistic competition. June. Perfect competition, monopolistic competition, oligopoly, monopoly. Fay, oligopoly, monopoly. Perfect competition, monopolistic competition. Villain. Yeah, so everyone's Vivian, Carmela, Q, May, Mashani, Vernell all got it. So it's that. Yeah, that's great. Mirage, Suja, yes. Gentleman, yes. So how does a monopoly differ from perfect competition? A monopoly is a market structure where there's only one seller dominating the market, while perfect competition is a market structure with many sellers offering identical products. Apple, excellent. Brunel, monopoly features a single seller with significant market power, while perfect competition involves many small firms with no market power. Yes. Mashani, monopoly is a single firm controlling the market. Perfect competition is many firms. June, perfect competition, indistinguishable goods. Monopoly, one company monopolizes the market and establishes pricing independently. Yes. Barrage, monopoly, one seller. Competition has many sellers and buyers, with no single entity having control of the market price. Yes. Fay, in perfect competition, there are many small firms in the market. In monopoly, there's only one firm that dominates the market. Yes. Shay, a monopoly is a market structure in which a single seller controls the market, while perfect competition is a market structure where many sellers and products, leading to intense competition and lower prices. Carmela, monopoly is a market in which a single firm controls the market, while perfect competition is a market in which small firms compete with each other. Monopoly, Rommel, monopoly is one firm dominating the market, while perfect competition, there are numerous firms. Suja, monopoly, only one firm which dominates the market. Perfect competition, many firms, no one can control the market. Q, similar response. Geozel, similar response. Yeah, so a lot of the same points here. That's great. Gentlemen, perfect competition, many for small firms, each acting as a price taker, while monopoly, a single firm, dominates the market. Yes. Geozel, May, great points. So supply and demand. What factors influence supply and demand? So price of the product, cost of the production, consumer preferences, availability of substitute, change in income, government policies. Excellent. Apple. Price, income, price related goods. Fay. Yes. Excellent. Burnell, price, income preferences, technology, expectations, number of buyers and sellers. Price, Shay, very similar ones. Price, consumer preferences, income levels, production costs, competition, government regulations, technology, um, advancements, weather conditions, population growth. Rommel, price, Q, a lot of the same things. Humsuck, same things. Mishani, May, Vivian, Viraj, Tuja, a lot of great points here. Carmela, June. A lot of the same ones. That's great. A lot of similar across the board. That's great. Yeah. And then June, Carmela, similar points too. That's great. How does the law of supply and demand determine the price of a good or service? So, law of supply and demand determines the price of a good or service by balancing the quantity supplied by producers with the quantity demanded by consumers at a particular price. When supply exceeds demand, prices tend to decrease, and when demand exceeds supply, prices tend to increase. Excellent. Apple was great. And then similar answer by June here. Similar answer by Carmela. So yeah, very, very good answers here. Burnell, intersection of supply and demand. C sets the equilibrium price of goods where quantity demanded equals quantity supplied. Yes. Supply and demand. So supply and demand interact to establish equilibrium price where buyers and sellers agree on the value of the product. Shay, excellent. Fay, similar. They have to be balanced to so quantity supplied equals quantity demanded. Law of supply and demand determines the price of the good or service, balancing the quantity supplied by producers with the quantity demanded by consumers at a given price level. Demand exceeds supply, prices tend to rise. Shani, by the equilibrium of supply and demand curves. Suja, interaction between supply and demand components. When prices increase, supply rises while demand declines. Giuzel, similar response. Humsuck, similar response there. That's great. So, what is price elasticity and why is it important? So, Appetite, price elasticity being the responsiveness of quantity demanded or supplied and change in price. So yeah, it shows how prices affect consumer behavior. Yes, excellent. And then Mashani, how responsive consumers are to change prices. Yes. Brunel, price elasticity measures the responsiveness of quantity demand or supply to changes in price. So it shows consumer behavior and market dynamics. Can be used by policymakers. Homestuck, yeah, it's percentage change in quantity demanded, resulting from a 1% change in price. Yes. May, measurement of the change in consumption of the product to relation to the change in price. Shay, sense of demand to the change in price. Suja, measure of the change of demand for the products in relation to the change in price. Virage, price elasticity measures the responsiveness to quantity demanded or supplied of a good or service to changes in price. Yes. So pay measure of how much the quantity demanded of a good or service changes in response to changes in price. It's important in determining pricing strategy, forecasting revenue, allocating resources. GUZL, price elasticity measures how the quantity demanded or supplied of a product changes in response to price fluctuations. June, it helps business understand how changes in price affect consumer behavior. Rommel, price elasticity is a production cost. Yes. Excellent. So how does price elasticity affect consumer behavior and business decisions? June guides consumer response to price changes and helps businesses make decisions about pricing, production, marketing strategies. Yes. Apple, price elasticity affects how consumers react to price changes. Demand is elastic greater than one. Consumers will significantly change their purchases when prices change. Demand is inelastic less than one. Consumers won't change their purchases much when price change. Price elasticity of demand significantly affects consumer behavior by influencing how consumers respond to price changes for goods and services. Mashani, how higher price elasticity reduces demand for products when price increases, and lower price elasticity has lower effects for price increases. May, price elasticity can help consumers make informed purchasing decisions. Shay, consumers are willing to pay more for a product that informs business on setting optimal prices. Viraj, price elasticity influences consumer behavior by determining how responsive consumers are to price changes, while businesses use it to set prices effectively and forecast future revenue impacts. Fay, price strategies, yes, similar. Bernal, determining pricing strategies. Viviolin, pricing strategies. Rommel, sensitivity to price changes. Suja, sensitivity to price changes, determine product prices. Geozel determines if, yeah, so consumers determine if they want to stick with the product or switch to another one. So good points, everyone there. So monetary and fiscal policy. What is the difference between monetary and fiscal policy? So Shay, monetary involves bank and fiscal involves government. So yeah, close. Yeah, close. So Apple, monetary involves money supply, interest rates. Fiscal policy focuses on government spending and taxation. Fay, monetary policy, uh, price stability, full employment, and economic growth. Fiscal is economic growth, full employment. So fiscal is spending on by government taxes. Brunel, monetary policy is controlled by the central bank and manages interest rates and money supply. Fiscal policy, government spending, and taxation. Yeah, monetary is handled by the central bank, fiscal by government. Monetary interest rates, money supply, June, fiscal, government spending and taxation. Yes. Genelin similar, Carmela similar, Vivian similar, May similar. Good points. Mashani similar to the rest. Viraj similar, Geozel similar. So a lot of similar responses. So I'll give a few more. I'll give it a while longer. So we had one of the response. Rommel monetary is managed by the government. So monetary is actually managed by the central bank, and then fiscal is managed by Congress. Yes, slash government. So, how do central banks use monetary policy to control inflation? Through interest rates, monetary money supply, Priyanka, yes. Bernal, the central bank raises interest rates, decreases money supply, which in turn reduces consumer spending and investment, thus controlling inflation. June, control inflation by adjusting interest rates, yes. Today, central banks can raise interest rates, decrease money supply, or sell government securities to reduce inflation, yes. May, to manage economic fluctuations and achieve price stability, yeah. Fay, central banks can influence inflation by adjusting short-term interest rates. By raising interest rates, central banks can make borrowing more expensive, which can reduce consumer spending and business investment. Barrage, central banks control inflation through monetary policy by adjusting interest rates and managing the money supply to influence borrowing, spending, and overall demand in the economy. I'm sucked by increasing or decreasing rates and controlling the money supply. Yeah, Apple similar, Rommel similar, Geozel similar, Vivian similar, Mashani similar. So I'll give it a little while longer. Carmela, pretty similar to the rest here. Excellent. Good response to everyone here. International trade policy. So what is an international trade policy? Apple, international trade policy refers to the rules, regulations, agreements set by governments governing the exchange of goods and services between countries. Yes. Viewing government rules and trading between countries. Yes. Shay, a set of rules and regulations established by the government to govern trade between countries and promote economic growth. Yes. Vivian, rules that define how exports and imports are conducted. Yes. Raj, rules and regulations for trade. Priyanka, strategies that countries use to manage the trade with other nations. Mashani, how governments control foreign trading. Gentlemen, government rules and regulations guiding and controlling trade with foreign countries. Carmela, rules and arrangements, yeah, for trade. Geozel, similar. Brunel, similar. Homestuck, similar. Yeah. Good points there, everyone. How do tariffs and trade agreements affect international trade? They increase the price of imported goods, yes. Brunel, tariffs increase the price of cost of imported goods, reducing demand and potentially protecting domestic industries, while trade agreements aim to reduce barriers and promote trade between countries, yes. Geozel, tariffs affect international trade by increasing the cost of imported goods, making them less competitive compared to domestically produced goods, yeah. June, tariffs increase costs of imported goods, while trade agreements reduce or remove tariffs and fostering trade. Mashani, tariffs reduce international trade, while trade agreements influence international trade. Barrage, tariffs increase the cost of imported goods, reducing demand and potentially leading to trading imbalances, while trade agreements lower barriers, promoting trade and economic integration between countries. Priyanka, can manage or increase the cost of imported goods, which can lead to higher prices. Kamala, similar. Foreign products are more expensive for domestic consumers with tariffs. Trade agreements reduce barriers for tariffs for trade through free trade, eliminating or lowering tariffs. May, similar response. Homesick, similar response. Apple, similar response. Shay, Rommel, all good responses here. So I'll give it a little bit longer for any additional responses.